Hi friends, I'm Yamini Sharma and I welcome you back to my channel The Saffron Box. I really hope that all of you are staying indoors and taking good care of yourselves, taking good care of your loved ones. Of course, for some of us, it's not possible to stay indoors. There are a lot of health workers. There are people in the administration. There are people who actually need to step out, and I really thank these people, who are stepping out of their houses, of their homes during these tumultuous times. And I really hope and pray that God keeps all of us healthy. Physical and mental health is so very important, so very important, much important than any amount of wealth you might accumulate, because as long as you're physically, mentally healthy, a lot of things are possible, right? So I really hope that God keeps all of us healthy and happy and hopeful during these tumultuous times, and I really hope these times pass away soon. That is my sincere prayer every day. And that is what I feel, and I thought I'll share with my viewers, with my subscribers as well. So, anyways, going forward, I wanted to tell you that this video is about May 2021. What is going to be the planetary transits during this entire month of May, and what is going to be the effect of these planetary transits on all the 12 ascendants, the 12 signs. Of course, I'm talking about your ascendant or your moon sign. I'm not referring to Western astrology here. So, the effect on all the 12 signs is what I'm going to be talking about in a nutshell. So, I'll begin with the planetary transits first, but in case you are a first time viewer or you haven't subscribed till now, do not forget to tap the subscribe button which comes right under the screen on the right hand side, and share the content, share the video with people whom you think could benefit from it, right? So going ahead with the transits, we have the sun transiting out of Aries into the sign of Taurus on the 14th of May. So sun was exalted, is exalted currently in the sign of Aries, and in the middle of the month, by the 14th, it moves to Taurus, the next sign. Then we have Mercury moving into Taurus at the start of the month on 1st of May, and moving into the sign of Gemini on the 26th of May. So about 25-26 days is what Mercury gets in the sign of Taurus, and thereafter it moves out, transits out. Then we have Venus. Venus moves into the sign of Taurus on the 4th of May, and then moves on further to Gemini on the 29th of May. We have Mars in the sign of Gemini the whole month. We have Jupiter. Jupiter, who currently is in the sign of Aquarius. It's going to be there from the till the month of September. I've made a video on the transit of Jupiter as well. You can check that out. I've put the link in the description box. Then we have Saturn. Saturn is going to become retrograde soon in the month of May. I'll be making a separate video on that. So Saturn is currently in its own sign of Capricorn. Then we have Rahu in Taurus and Ketu in Scorpio. So these are the planetary placements for the month of May. Of course, this month we see a major jamming of planets in the sign of Taurus. So we have Venus moving there first, then we have Mercury. So Venus, Mercury, Rahu is anyways there, and then Sun also joins up by the middle of the month. So by the middle of the month, by the second half, we'll have 4 planets, Sun, Mercury, Venus, as well as Rahu, all joined together, conjunct in the sign of Taurus. Now, what does this mean? So generally speaking, Taurus is the sign of accumulation. Taurus is the sign of wealth, of family, of finances, of our speech. And this is what is going to be the focus of a lot of us. Lot of people among us are going to look at realigning their finances or accumulating resources, looking at saving some more for the future. So why, with the with the point of view that there's going to be some uncertainty in the future, with that fear maybe, or with that thought in mind, there is going to be a lot of accumulation of resources. People would focus more on their family issues, on their finances. These are going to be the two major things which a lot of people are going to be focusing on, right? So anyways, the Artha trine also, which is the second, the sixth, and the 10th house, that is as per the Kalpurush Kundli, the sign of Taurus, which I said has is going to be having 4 planets, and the sign of Capricorn anyways has Saturn in it, in its own sign, which is very powerfully posited there. So we have 5 planets in the Artha trine. Very, very important thing to be noted. So we move ahead, understanding what is going to be the effect on all the 12 signs. I'll begin with Aries first. So for Aries, there is a lot of planetary conjunction, 4 planets together. In the sign of Taurus, you have Sun also exalted in your first house for the first half of the month, and thereafter Sun also becomes one of the 4 planets there in the second house. So this could actually give you a lot of focus on yourself, focus on shining bright, focus on showing the world that yes, this is who I am, and this is what I'm capable of doing. Your Lagnesh Mars is in the 3rd house, in the sign of Gemini. So you tell the world that yes, this is who I am, this is how I shine bright, and these are the kind of things which I can do, which I am capable of doing. And Saturn in the 10th house also kind of helps you in doing so. So a time to focus on your work, time to actually show up your talents, communicate to the world that this is what you can do, and come out confidently, step out confidently. A lot of focus also would be on finances, with Venus and Mercury and Rahu together in the 2nd house in the sign of Taurus. A lot of focus is going to be there on money issues, managing money issues, saving money for some comfort or luxury items to be bought later. So the tendency is going to be more of a Rajasic tendency, accumulating so that you can actually, spend on Rajasic things, spend on pleasure, spend on comfort issues later on. So it's also a very good time to put in a lot of efforts or take new initiatives at your workplace. It's going to bear fruit slowly and steadily, but wonderful time for that. And this is also a time for a lot of unconventional ideas kicking up in your head. So there could be something really offbeat which you come up with, which you think of, and this could actually help you in building up your bank balance, building up your investments. So I would say overall a great month for the sign of Aries if you're an Aries ascendant. Then moving on to the next sign of Taurus. See, for Taurus, we have the Lagnesh in the Lagna itself, in the ascendant itself, as soon as the month begins, almost as soon as the month begins. And then we have Mercury, we have Rahu, we have Saturn in the 9th house, we have Jupiter in the 10th house, and the Sun, your 4th lord, the Sun is exalted in the 12th house. What does this mean? Time to get creative, time to get more innovative in terms of ideas, in terms of expressing yourself or doing what you do, right? So this is a time to express your creativity, express new ideas well. maybe using unconventional methods. And you could also use unconventional ideas or offbeat ideas for income generation. Those of you who were not into doing things on their own, or doing even a small business on their own, could actually start thinking on those lines, could actually start thinking of new ways of income generation, of new ways of making money. So that is something which your focus is going to be on. You might feel that Lady Luck is moving very slowly. So luck favors you, but it's moving very, very slowly, and gains are kind of slow. So hold on. This is a time period to keep patience. And Rahu in the ascendant, anyways, along with the Lagnesh, could actually make you a little impatient, could actually make you a little unsure at times about how the future is going to be, or create some kind of illusions, create some kind of different ideas. But as I said, distinguish between the good ideas, the practical ideas, and what finally is an illusion. So try to distinguish there, try to understand, use your wisdom very well. Jupiter in the Kendra in the 10th house is going to help you doing that, is going to help you make wise, sane decisions as well. The second half, you need to practice more patience, practice more humility, and then move on. Then you also have to be a little careful in terms of your communication with your spouse. That is also something which you need to be a little watchful about, right? Then we move on to the next sign, that is the sign of Gemini. So for Gemini, we have Mars in the ascendant, we have Venus, Mercury and Rahu in the 12th house, Sun exalts in the 11th, then we have 8th house, we have Saturn, 9th, we have Jupiter. This is a time to take care of your health. Mars in the ascendant, especially for Gemini ascendant, is not too great. Mars is the 6th lord. Mars will give you gains, but it will also make you get worried or kind of disturb you health wise. So it is very, very important, as I said in the beginning of the video, it is very, very important to take care of your health. So look at your gains later, look at your materialistic gains later. First take care of your routine, take care of your diet, take care of your health issues. Anything which you notice, do not ignore. So you might feel a little ambitious, you might feel like going out and doing, achieving much more, or rather bite much more than you can chew. So kind of, it's time to be practical. Take care of your health first and then look at other things. This month could also make you take a lot of initiatives towards networking, towards meeting new people, virtually of course, and you could also network a lot and gain from those networks. So time to actually make new contacts. These contacts could actually help you in terms of your initiatives, in terms of your work environment. So go about all this, but take care of your health first. Lots of ideas will crop in, lots of new thoughts, new initiatives could actually come in, and you will need support of a lot of other people. So this is a time to slowly build up your strategy, think about how you're going to implement your ideas in future and carry on. Right, so take care of your expenditure, though this month could bring in expenditure in terms of on your health, or on certain things which you do not require as such. So there could be some amount which you spend frivolously as well, so keep a check on that. Then we move on to the next sign, which is Cancer. See, for Cancer, we have an exalted Sun in the 10th house. We have Venus, Mercury and Rahu in the 11th, Mars in the 12th. Saturn is sitting tight in its own house, that is the 7th house, and we have Jupiter in the 8th. So these were the major planetary positions for Cancer ascendant. This month could actually make you focus a lot on work, focus a lot on what your status is, what your reputation is, how are you being perceived at work. A sun in the 10th house will make you do that. And you also look at converting all your hard work, translating all your hard work into gains, into materialistic tangible gains. Now that may happen, that may not happen, that depends on what kind of a period, what kind of a major period or a dasha are you running through. But there could be some hindrances, or you could feel that yes, the gains are coming but they are not actually coming through. So your social network could actually pose in some problems. People who seemingly are very nice and sweet on your face, there could be issues there. So be a little take things with a pinch of salt, be a little practical, do not get blown away with flattery, or do not get blown away with what people have to say on your face. So that is very important. You will focus a lot on relationships. So Venus there in the 11th along with Mercury, a lot of communication, lot of focus on relationships, in your network, otherwise as well, socially as well, right? So this month could also kind of bring in some amount of coldness with your spouse or with your life partner. So there could be some amount of few days when you do not you have some kind of fights, or you have some arguments, etc. So some amount of cold warish situations could arise, right? Then we move on to the next ascendant, that is Leo. Now for Leo, the ascendant lord sun is exalted. Exalted where? In the 9th house. Very good position. And the first half is actually going to be nice and bright, and fortune favors you, luck favors you. The Lagnesh getting exalted in the 9th house of luck is a very, very beautiful beautiful thing, beautiful placement to have. And then you have Venus, Mercury and Rahu, Venus in its own sign in the 10th, along with the friendly planets like Mercury and Rahu. So this could actually give you more opportunities at work, make you connect more with people at work, communicate more with people at work. But at the same point in time, again, do not take things at face value. Rahu's presence over there along with Venus and Mercury could show you that a lot of people are there, people are rooting for you, but maybe there are some backbiters as well. Maybe there are some other people who do not wish you well as such, they are sweet on your face. So these kind of things could happen at workplace. You could actually get a lot of help from your teachers, those of you who are in the field of who are studying or who are researching, etc. You could get a lot of help from your teachers, from your guides, from your father as such. And it's very important to keep the communication lines open there, right? So very important over there. Be careful at work, as I mentioned. So things might look very nice and sweet, but you have to be a little careful. As regards your relationship, those of you who are looking at some alliances could actually see some things moving up, and see some relationships developing around you, or some marriage alliance coming through to you, right? Then we move on to the next sign of Virgo. So for Virgo, we have the Lagnesh in the 9th house along with Venus and Rahu. Then we have Mars in the 10th house alone. Not very good, not a very bright thing to have actually. Then we have Sun in the 8th house, we have Saturn in the 5th, we have Jupiter in the 6th house. Now there could be a lot of focus on learning, higher learning. This is for students, this is for people who are still in the phase of studying traditionally, doing their graduate, undergraduate, postgraduate things, the conventional studies. But on the other side, there could also be a lot of learning or a change of ideas or a change of what you had been believing in for a very long time, for a pretty long time. So there could be a change in thoughts. You could actually start thinking differently. Something happens which changes your outlook towards life, right? So this is a time for some kind of change, as I said, happening in your thinking. Your relationship with your father, your relationship with your teachers could also undergo some kind of a change. Aggression at work is indicated, some amount of aggression or some amount of obstacles at work, because Mars alone in the 10th house. Now Mars is not a very good planet for Virgo ascendant. Mars is the 8th lord and the 3rd lord, not a very good planet, in fact a functional malefic for you. And then it moves on to the 10th house, where it might just create obstacles for you. So please make sure that your communication at work is all right. You do not get into any unnecessary arguments at work, especially with your bosses. That is very important. Those of you who are in any kind of a R&D or a research or some kind of a study, deep study, occult, etc., you could benefit this month. Sun's presence in the 8th house could actually shed some light on your work, make you progress with regard to your projects, with regard to your work. Then we have inheritance issues, some kind of inheritance issue, some kind of an insurance issues could also come up for Virgo ascendant. Then moving on to the next ascendant, that is Libra. Now for Libra, you see the ascendant lord Venus is itself in the 8th house along with Mercury and Rahu. You could deal with a lot of hidden issues. You could deal with a lot of things which were not coming to surface till now. And there could be inheritance matters. There could be insurance matters. There could be gain from insurance, gain from inheritance. Very much indicated for Libra ascendant, in case you are running that kind of a dasha, or you are running that kind of a life stage, you are running such matters, such things are happening in your life. You could also feel that there are a lot of changes happening within you whenever Venus transits through the 8th. For Libra ascendant, it moves from its own house of Taurus, and this time we have Rahu, we have Mercury also conjunct, Sun will also join up over there. So a lot of you kind of redefine your goals. What is it that you actually want to do? What is it that you actually feel ambitious about? And what will finally give you happiness is what you work on. This is also a month where Libra ascendant could actually gain from their spouse. So either the spouse gets into some kind of a gain, or you gain through your spouse. That could happen. This is also a good time period to focus on your health. So some kind of a changes, as I said, there could be physical changes, there could be changes in your thinking. Most of you would actually work on your physical well-being, physical health, look at transforming yourself physically. These kind of things could happen. Then we move on to the next ascendant, that is Scorpio. Now for Scorpio, the Lagnesh Mars is in the 8th house itself. Then we have Sun in the 6th, we have Venus, Mercury and Rahu in the 7th. In fact, the 6th, 7th, 8th houses right in front of you are all full, packed with action. And then we have Saturn in the 3rd, we have Jupiter in the 4th house. So a lot of focus on relationships. What kind of relationships are you getting into if you are at that stage and age in your life? And if you are in a relationship, if you're already married, or you are in a business kind of a partnership, etc., what is actually taking away your focus? Lot of communication will happen there. A lot of ups and downs you could see, exchange of ideas, exchange of communication, some changes, especially those of you who are in partnership businesses. And this could actually lead to a lot of interaction otherwise as well. So this is a month, I would say, where you focus on lot of relationships, other people, communication. So you keep communicating. You'll spend a lot of time on your phone, a lot of time on your mails, etc. And Venus, one more thing which has to be seen is Venus is in its own house, in the 7th house, very strongly placed with its friendly planets. So it's in a very strong position. Venus is also a marka for you. So take care of your health, take care of your spouse's health as well. This is very important and should be done with lot of care, lot of thought this entire month, right? Mars itself, the Lagnesh itself in the 8th house is not a very great indication for good health. So please pay attention towards your health. That is very important, more important than anything else. Then we move on to the next sign, that is Sagittarius. Now for Sagittarius, you see the first half of the month is better. You have your sun, the 9th lord for you, which is the planet governing your luck, your fortune, Bhagyastan lord, in the 5th house and in an exalted state. Those of you who are looking at childbirth, conception, progeny, related matters could get lucky. Of course, your spouse's chart also has to be seen. So there could be luck in those matters. This is a bright time for your children. Your children could shine bright, could study well, could make you proud. And this is though not a very great time to deal with your opposition. So if you have some legal matters, if you have certain, some legal fights pending, pend it out, wait out for some more time, take more time to communicate. You may not be able to understand your opponent properly, so you may not be able to react properly. Venus, Mercury and Rahu, 3 planets are there together in the 6th house. Venus is not a very good planet for Sagittarius ascendant, and it's in its own sign, that is the sign of Taurus, in the 6th house, 6th house of enemies, of diseases, of opposition. It's a Ripu Bhava. So here a lot of action is happening. So I think it's a time for you to slow down, see what people are doing, be reactive rather than be proactive in dealing with your opposition, in dealing with people at workplace also sometimes. Very important thing to be noted is to take care of your health. Venus, the 6th lord, sitting strong in its own house, could pose in health problems. So you should be regular with your checkups, with your with your medical advice, etc. That is very, very important, right? Mars is there in the 7th house and sitting alone. This could actually put you in situations where you act impulsively, where you are forced to act impulsively. So your people dealings this entire month has to be watched out for. You have to be very, very careful there. Then we move on to the next sign, that is Capricorn. So for Capricorn, you have Sun exalted in the 4th house. You have Venus, Mercury and Rahu in the 5th. Then Mars in the 6th house. And of course the ascendant has Saturn in its in the 1st house. Saturn is sitting in its own sign, sitting very strong, with Jupiter in the 2nd. Now here there are chances that there would be changes at workplace. So either you get into a new role or you shift out of your workplace. Changes, workplace settings are going to get affected, right? So there could be a transfer, there could be a change of role, there could be a change of boss also. So workplace setting, as I said, could get affected this month. This is also a time to upscale your skills, learn new things, learn new, maybe get into new programs, new certifications, which help you in your work, help you in your workplace. So time to learn more, hone your skills, And this is also a time to focus a lot on your children's education, on your children's skills, talents. So they'll demand time from you. um, children could actually take up a lot of your time, a lot of your space, a lot of your energy also. So focus has to be there. Mars is in the 6th house sitting alone. Take care of your health. Take care of how your workplace setting is, how your work environment is, how you're dealing with your colleagues, how you're dealing with your people down the chain, people who are below you, working below you at your workplace, or even with people at home, people who are serving you. Make sure that you're dealing with everybody very politely and with a very level-headed manner, and not getting aggressive or impulsive with people is very, very important there. Take care of your digestion issues, take care of your digestive health. That is very, very important. So time to eat good and stay healthy. Then we move on to the next sign, which is Aquarius. Now for Aquarius, this is a month which looks like, it's a month for comforts. So we have in the 4th house, we have Venus, we have Mercury, Rahu, friendly planets in the 4th house. You enjoy your home, you enjoy your house. So either you gather more comforts for your house, you do up your space, or you enjoy your time at home. So there could be a nice environment at home where you are enjoying time with your loved ones. So that's why I said it's a month of comforts, enjoying home. Not all of us can do that. Not all of us get the luxury to do that. So this month you get the luxury to spend time at home and get pampered also. You feel like pampering yourself. People around you could pamper you. Mother or mother-like figure pampers you. So great month for you. Avoid arguments with people. Avoid arguments with your own children. Right? So that's very important. Mars is there in the 5th house sitting alone. And the most important thing is Jupiter, the 2nd lord, the 11th lord is in the ascendant. So this brings you at a level of fulfilling your wishes in terms of your finances, your goals. So you sit pretty this entire month and enjoy the time. Sun is exalted in the 3rd house for the first half of the month, and thereafter Sun also moves to the 4th. So a lot of hustle and bustle on the domestic front is indicated. Those of you who are looking at a marriage alliance, something on that side could also take place. Then the last sign of the zodiac, which is the sign of Pisces. Now for Pisces, you have the Lagnesh in the 12th house, in the sign of Aquarius currently. We have Saturn in the 11th house. Sun is exalted in the 2nd house. Venus, Mercury and Rahu are in the 3rd, and Mars in the 4th. Now here, Mars in the 4th and Sun in the 2nd sitting alone. Sun exalted might be good, but these placements are not very good for family issues, for family dealings. Mars in the 4th house sitting in your home, there could be aggression, there could be some kind of a fight or an argument or a dispute regarding your home, or your peace of mind gets disturbed because of domestic issues. So that is something which is indicated here. Sun in the 2nd could also make you speak very strictly with people. So if you are one of the elder members in the family, you could speak very strictly, which may not be liked by your children, which may not be liked by people around you, and this puts a kind of uneasy environment at home. So deal with people nicely, communicate properly, communicate sweetly. That is very, very important. Venus and Mercury there in the 3rd house of your communication will help you do that. So make use of this opportunity here. Some kind of a short journey is also indicated. So for Pisces ascendant, this is a mixed month, a short journey, something on the home front, and on the work front also. Work could make you travel a little. So those of you who are in a position to travel in these current times could actually get to travel also, or there could be some kind of a foreign connection which comes into play. So that was about Pisces, and that was about all the 12 signs. I'll meet you soon in another video. Till then, take care, stay happy and stay healthy. Bye bye.